Okay, now suppose I have a list of full of numbers. So let's actually generate a particular list. So I'm going to write some new numbers into my list 3. So let's say the elements that I have, I'll pick up some random numbers. Okay, so this is the list that I have. Now, now let's say if I want to actually put all these elements into the ascending order. Okay, if I want this in the ascending order, Python has a very neat command for this. That is, we can simply mention sort. So when you write sort, by default what Python does is it takes the numbers and puts them in the ascending order. So since 1 is the lowest number in here, so it has simply started off with 1 and has gone all the way till 200. Okay, now what if I wanted the reverse thing, that is I wanted a descending order. So here what you have to do is you can simply say -3 dot sort, the same command, but inside sort, if you press shift tab here, you'll see that by default reverse is false, that is it has going for ascending order, but now we need the descending order. So what we have to mention is take reverse and make it true. Okay, now if you look at my list 3, you'll see that it has come down to descending order. So it started off with 200 all the way till 1. Okay, now let's discuss one of the most important things in list, that is the list comprehension. List comprehension, why it is considered a very important thing is when we look at loops, then you will be having more clarity as to why list comprehension is more preferred over loops. So when we write certain uh, tasks in a certain loop format, instead of giving a very lengthy command, we can actually complete the entire task in a single line using the lists. So in our case, let's say I want the numbers from 0 till 19. Okay, so to get the numbers from 0 to 19 in a list, we can do in two ways. One is we can actually create this particular list. So I create the list and I go on typing the numbers from 0 all the way till 19. Or the easiest thing that we can do is we can take the list command, and inside the list we can pass in this particular function called range. Okay, this range method, suppose I want all the numbers from 0 to 19 after I write the number 20 in here. So if I run this, I get all the numbers from 0 to 19 as a list. Okay, so we're going to use this particular range function inside our code right now. So let's say now that we have a list of numbers from 0 to 19, let's say I want to square all of these numbers. Okay, so I want to create another list which has elements 0, 1, 4, 9 and so on. That's the exact square of these numbers. So that can be done by list comprehension. So let's create a new variable a, and I'm going to pass in a list, and inside the list I will say x, because we want squaring. I'll take this and I write 2. So this is nothing but short for x square, but here we haven't mentioned x is what. Okay, so we have to tell Python where exactly it is going to find x. We said x was this particular list. Okay, So here we can simply say for x in range of 20. Okay, now if you want to understand this, what we're telling Python is square the number and you're going to find that number, that is x, in this particular list, that is range of 20. Okay, now if you run this and if I simply print out a, so let's print a, you would see that we get the exact output that we wanted. That is, we got square of each of the elements in the range of 20. So 0 all the way till 19 square. Now, let's say if I want to combine the for statement with a if condition, that is, uh, we have the numbers 0 to 19. Let's say I just want to create a list which has having only even numbers, and we are going to square only those even numbers. Okay, so we get a list of even num numbers squared values. So for doing that, let's create a new variable b, and inside b we are simply saying again the same thing, x squared for is going to find the numbers x in the range 20. So till now, this is as it's the same thing as what we have written in every element in this range. We want to square, but we didn't want all the elements. We only want those which are even numbers. So for even numbers, we can put this condition: if x mod is equal to 0. That is, if it is completely divisible by 2, only then take that number and square the number. Okay, so if you run this and now if you print b, you'll see that only those numbers which are divisible by 2, so only the even numbers have been taken and they have been squared, so we get only the even numbers squared values that we originally wanted. Okay, so this is what I had for you guys when it comes to the discussion of lists. Okay, so thank you very much.